All right, here we go. Well, what's up, everyone? My name's Peter. I'm one of the owners at Cigar Bands and Farmhouse Blends. I wanted to welcome you today to our Cigar Builders Podcast. I have Ash Street Cigar here, and I'm speaking with Jeff. I'm assuming you're one of the owners. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit about your brand today and what you guys are doing in the space. So if you could, feel free to introduce yourself and a little bit about your brand and who you are to the viewers who are watching.
Absolutely, Peter. Thanks so much for having me, by the way. My name's Jeff Fries. I'm the owner of Ash Street Cigar Parlor in Fernandina Beach, Florida. We're on Amelia Island, which is in Northeast Florida. Had a background outside of retail. I had served in several sales roles over 34 years in a prior industry. Finished my last couple of years as vice president of sales for the Northeast. Had 20 plus direct reports, traveled all the time, out 200 nights a year on average, and just realized I wanted to do something more local in a community, and have been a cigar smoker for probably the last 10 or 12 years, but really got into it over the last 4 years. So
Nice.
had an opportunity. Basically, we opened up back in February of 2024. So we are at that 18, 19 month range of being open, and have developed quite a cigar community in that short amount of time.
So are you all like a brick and mortar location basically, or are you doing like mobile lounge or?
We are brick and mortar. We
Nice.
bought an old historic, nationally registered historic building in Fernandina Beach. It was built in 1909. It was actually an attorney's office for the last 30 years. So we were able to step in, couldn't do anything structurally, but we did renovate the entire inside. We also put a back patio with fire pits, a small music stage for live entertainment.
Nice.
We have an old school front porch on the front with rocking chairs, and 2 vintage smoking rooms that have high-end ventilation. We're getting about 20 air changes an hour in those. We've got a HEPA charcoal VOC filter. So when you walk into our smoking rooms, they're intimate, but they're also not smoke filled.
Oh, it sounds very nice. So you said before you were doing sales. What was it in this space, or were you in a different industry?
I was in a different industry. I was in the HVAC industry for almost 34 years.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So spent my entire career there. Like I said, just kind of moved up the corporate ladder with a couple different companies, and just, had that calling, always wanted to do something, always wanted to own my own business, always wanted to open. And I just saw the segue with cigars. We also are a wine bar, so we have wines around the world. So we pair wines. We're one of the largest in the short amount of time sellers of port wine. So we have 20, 30, 40, 50-year ports that we pair with our cigars, and people are really enjoying that experience.
How was the whole experience with, a lot of people, for us, at least in the community that we have in our network, like, I think a big struggle point is licensing, like in getting your either tobacco license, your retail license, wholesale license, whatever it may be, because we have a lot of different people who come through our system. How was that entire process from you, like legal wise, getting all of that situated while trying to, build this storefront that you were having to handle, and then getting your business off of the ground? How did that be as a business owner? How was that for you?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is, in opening, just to give you timelines. So I actually bought the building in November of 2023. I left my corporate job in December of 2023. We were open for business on February 17th of 2024. So
wow. So still quick.
Lightning fast turnaround. In our market area, normally to get all the permitting and things done in our market area is a 6 to 8 month process. But what I did is I hand carried all of my documents for the city, for the permitting, for the technical review board. I had to get approval to allow cigar smoking in a historic registered building. That was going to be the deal breaker on the business, right? If I didn't get that approval. So that was a very timely and important meeting before I made the purchase on the building, because I presented my plan. The city basically approved it, gave me a stamp of approval, and said, "Hey, we'll be there for opening day." So
wow,
yeah, so that was a big hurdle that could have stopped the whole business plan. Yeah, so we basically got through that, and then as far as the permits and the resale certificates and all that through the state of Florida. Again, I hand carried everything in. You can mail it in, but as you know, there's probably thousands of documents that sit there. So I drove to Jacksonville, which is
Nice.
30 minutes from Amelia Island, hand carried the paperwork in,
Nice.
talked to the base and said, hey, I'm really trying to get this through quickly. What can we do? And they moved my paperwork to the top of the list, and I think I got all my licensing, resale certificate, tobacco license. We do have a beverage. We have a 2 COP.
Nice.
All those took place in probably less than 4 weeks.
Yeah, so like I think that's where I think there's a big misconception. So like a lot of people, they want to do all of that. And I'm also from Florida, so I know exactly. I set this up probably for us like 2 to 3 years ago. Now we didn't have to do as much extensive licensing as you did, because you're a brick and mortar and you also have liquor license, which I've heard can be a total nightmare. In our situation too, like it was more hands-on. I didn't just, hey, I'm going to send an email and wait for you 8 weeks for them to come back to you. And then now you get assigned a different account manager, has no idea what's going on with your case. But you definitely took it way further than me. What I did was I called them like almost every single day, like until we were able to get that situated. And for us, that was the best situation, because if I would have just gone to the site and waited, I don't remember the site now in Florida. It was some Florida department site, but I think it would have taken us like over a year, like going back and forth with them. And you sped that process by 4 weeks, which is great. But yeah. How has everything been, like work-life balance from the transition? Like, do you feel like at this point, like you're working a lot more? Are you in the shop, or how do you oversee your business? At what part of the stage are you in?
I'm hands in 100%. I spend a lot of hours there. We started opening 6 days a week. The island here kind of shuts down on a given day, but we found that we still had enough foot traffic coming by our store that we were missing some sales. So we're open 7 days a week.
Wow.
We do 12 to 9 p.m. on Monday through Wednesday. We do 12 to 11 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we did adjust our hours from noon to 8 on Sundays and just do 2 to 8 on Sundays now. And that's worked out pretty well for us. So I've got a staff of about 9 or 10 employees. We work shifts, but I'm there a good chunk of the time because I'm the one that's building the business, right? So I spend time getting to know our best customers. I spend time greeting and meeting all the new customers that come into the store. So they kind of know us on a first name basis. And
nice.
So my staff has something we call the 10-4 rule. So within 10 feet of a customer walking in, they need to have engaged with that customer and greeted them. They could be busy helping somebody at a humidor. They just need to say, hey, Mr. Smith, thank you so much for coming in. I'm helping another customer. I'll be with you in just a minute. If that customer steps,
awesome.
If the customer steps within 4 feet, they're going to have a quick 30-second interaction with them. And hey, what brought you in today? Are we looking for cigars? Are we looking for wine? You guys from out of town? Just that brief customer touch. And if you look on our website, you'll see we've had over, I think 235 star reviews.
Wow. I think I'm on it right now. Is it ashtcigarparlor.com?
Yeah, ashstreetcigarparlor.com.
Might go here for a second. Let me just show everyone. That way they can kind of see as well. I'm going to pop it on my screen. So if you guys are watching here, you can see that this is their website. You guys did a beautiful job too. This is very nice. So like that way there's a little bit of a knowledge mark of where you guys are located. There's the historic landmark you were speaking of. Oh, yeah. Interesting. So you have an executive founders club. The lockers is a big thing. Man, this is really nice. You guys did a good job with this.
And so then there's a whole drone video that we did coming from the marina where we're at on the island. So basically it will walk you through and show you, the drone comes right down into our building and shows you the whole inside. So customers for the first time can literally see where we're located, how close we are to the marina, how close we are in perimeter of the downtown historic area of Fernandina Beach. And then literally the company that did my drone literally walked into our store and filmed everything.
This is awesome. I have the video playing right now. This is really nice. And and like your startup speed is honestly crazy. You guys quickly got up and off the ground.
Yeah, it
Especially
was.
too coming in from another industry like this, you really, really did this quick.
Yeah, it was very fast. I'm not going to lie. I mean, 16-hour days back to back for a month and a half. This was not a, hey, I think I'm going to do a couple hours today or a couple hours tomorrow. So,
No, that's that. I think I mean, look, I'm the same. It's me every day, 16 to 18 hours a day, and I'm not even on the front of the business. Like there's so many things that go behind the scenes. But I guess for the viewers who are on the fence, do you think it's worth it? Like, do you like being in the space? How do you feel about being in the space? Like, I'm sure you're still in the early phases of your business, but as of right now, do you feel like you're at least seeing the rewards of like getting into this space as of yet?
oh, absolutely. We've already started a new, I'll call it almost a new community in our space because people really, really enjoy our environment. The two indoor smoking rooms you probably didn't see on the video.
Mm-mm.
They're very intimate. There's probably 8 to 9 seats in each of those rooms. So our customers come in, they put their phones down, they enjoy a
Nice.
cigar. Their titles get left at the door. It doesn't matter if you're a CFO or if you're one of the workers at the dock at the marina. It doesn't matter. All those people sit in the room, have a smoke, have a drink, exchange numbers, end up going fishing together, golfing together, whatever the experience. So it's really, we've developed a very unique following and community. People know it's a safe place. We also, likewise, because we do not have hard liquor, the liquor license here in Amelia Island is very expensive. It's over $1 million. So
Wow.
we have a 2 COP that we can offer wine, beer, canned cocktails. And so
Nice.
we've had to kind of exploit that zone on the wine piece and like I mentioned on the ports. So we do port pairing nights, we do wine tasting nights, we do cigar pairing nights.
Nice.
We've had a lot of the vendors in from all the major brands. You know, we had Nish Patel from Rocky Patel at our place back in May. So
Oh,
we had a big event then. We've had Ricky Rodriguez in from West Tampa Tobacco. So we're bringing in every other month or every 2 to 3 months. We don't want to overdo it, but we're bringing in the big players in the industry so people get an education. We've had Danny DeFabio from Rodriguez Cigars. So we carry a blend of not only the big brand names, but we also have some of what I would consider the boutique brands as well. And
nice.
so yeah, the education piece has been huge for us. We do ladies' nights 101 with Oliva. We've done 2 of those so far, and we usually get, somewhere between 8 and 20 ladies that come. So the female
Wow.
population was not on my demographic study,
That's
but
awesome.
I can tell you we probably get 30 to 40% of our customers are female cigar smokers,
Oh
and
my God, you guys are doing great.
yeah, they're smoking bigger ring cigars sometimes than I do.
That's
So
hilarious. That's
yeah,
great.
it's been fantastic, but it's a safe place for date nights. It's a safe place for husband and wife. We've got the way we're divided with our French porch, our smoking rooms, and then our back patio holds 45 or 50 people. Husband and wife or boyfriend girlfriend might be in the space, and girls could be up front drinking wine on the front porch. Guys could be out back watching football on our 65-inch flat screen with surround sound, and they're at the same location. So if you look at it from a profitability standpoint, our average ticket basically is double because we've got the couple there. We don't have
Got
just
it.
one person coming in and having a couple sticks and calling it a day.
I see. And then you mentioned that you guys are doing, you have a lot of retail brands there like that you're carrying. Are you guys doing your own house line as well? Is that something you all carry too?
Absolutely. We started that about 8 months ago. Obviously, we use cigar bands for a label. They did a beautiful job. This actually is our finished label.
Let me see. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I definitely remember it. Let me see. Maybe I can pull it up for everyone to see here. I can actually maybe pull it on the big screen.
yeah.
Um, let's go here like this. And then I'm gonna stop sharing my screen after this so that you can come back onto the center. Should be under Jeff's. This should give everyone a good idea because it's a little bit blurry, unfortunately, on my screen to see, but it's
I don't know if that helps.
got to be right here.
It is a
Okay.
beautiful label. Cigar Bands did a great job.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, the quality is great. The finish and feel is fantastic, and our customers love the look and the logoing on the cigars. So, yeah, we brought in basically a Connecticut and a Maduro. We worked with somebody to make those cigars for us.
Nice.
We selected the blend out of probably 12 to 15 choices. And very quickly, our brand has moved into probably a number 2 or 3 position in sales of our cigars out of the entire
Wow,
state.
that quickly.
That quickly. Yeah. We have customers come in and they'll be like, I really want something kind of local. I'm like, okay, great. Well, come over here. We've got our Ash Street Cigar Blend that we sell.
Okay.
And the Connecticut just burns really well. People enjoy it. It's a great smoke, good quality. We don't have canoeing issues. It just, we've got a good quality line.
Did you basically decide like I want to do Connecticut for like an entry level and a Maduro for someone who,
Yes.
I think that is such a smart approach.
We kept it very simple, Peter,
Nice.
because,
It's fine.
again, we walk our customers around the humidor. So we don't, because of our space and because of the historic value of the place that we're located in on Ash Street, we couldn't do a build out for a full walk-in humidor. We had to do individual humidors. So when somebody comes in, I was talking about that 10-4 rule. All of our employees walk the customers around the humidor to answer questions. We ask them what they like. What do you normally smoke? How often do you smoke? What flavors are you looking for in your profile? So we don't just say, hey, welcome in. There's a bunch of cigars, let us know how it works out if you have any questions.
Yeah.
So we spend that time with people, but 9 times out of 10, I would say the majority of smokers that come in are, they have a cigar once or twice every couple months, or maybe they're once or twice a year. So we've got a good blend of our offerings from our great manufacturers plus our own that
Nice.
we basically can direct them to and give them a good first cigar. Because as you know, if you don't give somebody a good cigar the first time out and they have a bad experience, they'll never come back. So they buy those gas station cigars and it's game over.
Yeah, it's just impressive. I mean, you did all of this in the span of like the time period that you did. I'll just be, hats off. Like some people will literally think about doing everything you've done. They'll be thinking about it still. I'll be chatting with them. I've been thinking about doing this for 7 years. And in my brain, like I go crazy. I can't seem to understand it. Maybe it's because I'm a business owner, but it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because Cigar Bands was built. We started the business within 24 to 48 hours. It was like, bam, we're going.
Yeah.
And we never looked back since.
And Peter, like, you probably hit on something because I think once you make that decision, you're committed. I'm an all-in person. That's just how my brain has worked from day one. That's how I'm programmed. So once I decide what I'm going to do, it's all about execution and just.
And I'm kind of like you.
Yeah, 100%.
I came from a different industry, so like a lot of people don't know, but I have my doctorate degree. I'm a sports physical therapist. Yeah. Within 1 to 2 years, that is all it took.
Yeah.
I'm here in the middle of the day building a business. I love physical therapy. It was a very hard decision to make, but I don't go to PT all the time anymore. I can't.
Right.
And I like the rule that you have because the 10-4 rule, that's something where like I'm in physical therapy. If there's someone that's near me, it doesn't matter if it's my patient, his patient, I don't care who it is.
Right.
Just introduce yourself. I think that is for brick and mortar. That is such a very smart rule because I'm speaking more to the millennials, my age demographic, where we're glued to our phone. We don't have the old school mentality of like the cigar space where it's like everyone's kind of in their tunnel vision. You can't be like that in brick and mortar. That's not the way to run and operate a business, in my honest opinion. It doesn't matter who the person is. I think that's just be a decent person. And I think you guys with those set of like core values, it's gonna continue to drive the brand forward in your area.
We're very blessed. We've got, we don't run ads to hire our staff. I kind of hand select our staff.
Nice.
So, that's just through the networks of people that friends of friends or opportunities that present themselves. But you'll never see a help wanted ad at Ash Street Cigar Parlor.
It's Amelia Island, correct? You're
It
on
is
the
Amelia
island.
Island. Yeah,
So I'm
but
looking up
actually,
right now. It's a 13,000 people population.
yes, yes. So, but we are a tourist destination as well. So
Yep.
we do have tourism that dumps in. You know, we're fortunate. We've got two very big hotels between the Ritz-Carlton and between the Omni that are on the south side of our island. So there's a lot of conventions and people that dump in and out. We also have a big Concours car show. The city does all kinds of things like Shrimp Fest, where we have 100,000 people dump into our downtown over a weekend. So we have some great events that the community does and community supports, and people come for visits. But you know, our locals are the main people that keep us going day in and day out. So we take great care of them. My staff knows most of their names on a first name basis. We always try to have them greet our guest on a first name. That's the other thing. You know, it's not like, hey, buddy, welcome in. It's like, hey, Ken, good to see you again, man. How you been? So, you know, it's that if you look at the reviews on our website, you will see feedback about how welcomed they were and how they felt, because we've all walked into bars, restaurants, cigar shops. You know, somebody's behind the counter, they have their head down, nobody talks to you, just kind of go pick out what you want. And they ask you, is that all you need? Yeah, that's all I need. And you're done. That is not a good experience. So we're all about the experience, from the
Mm.
education to the way that our customers are treated and greeted, to the quality of the brands, how we present, how we sell. All those things are all in place.
So check this out. I want to show the viewers who are watching. This is amazing. This is unbelievable work. So if you look here, if you go to Google and you type in their cigar parlor, look at that. 215 reviews, 5.0. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. So I kind of want to dive into this because as a local business owner, SEO, right, and local presence is extremely important to get your brand off of the ground, and in such a small amount of time. I mean, you guys already, if I go to Amelia Island, I'm sure if I type in cigar lounge or cigar bar or cigar parlor or even the word cigar, I'm
Type
sure
type
you all
in
rank.
Peter. Stop. Type in. You can do this right now. Type in cigars near me for Amelia Island.
There you go, right at the top.
And if you look at the amount of reviews, again, just in a year and a half, we will double that amount of reviews over the next 5 months, 6 months.
Okay, so this really sparks my curiosity now, because like I'm also a business owner, right? So like I think you gave a little bit of insight of how you do this, but I want to dive a little bit deeper in like how are you able to get so many reviews? Like what is the process in between, like, because this can be a little bit awkward, like sometimes, like how do you go about asking people, hey, do you mind, can you leave a review? Like do you set up like a QR code somewhere for people to scan? Is it on the menu? Like how have you gone about doing this? Because this is huge. I don't think people understand how hard this is to do for a lot of people, and like the the benefits from doing this, like literally this gives me goosebumps, because it's like I don't think people realize the level of leverage that you can pull when you do
Yeah,
something like this.
yeah.
You probably don't have to run ads anymore. There's no point. You
Uh,
could, but you're gonna get so much foot traffic organically that like you're probably good. So
Peter, we don't spend like our advertising budget is minimal,
wow.
because so the only place I really advertise, we have something called the Little Guide. It's a little red book that all the tourists get. It has a complete write-up on our business on the background. It's been our only spend source up till now. We are still going to do some advertising this next year now with the Ritz-Carlton, because we
Nice.
have developed some great relationships there. We just completed a cookout event with the Ritz-Carlton where they bring in all the chefs from around the country. We did a cigar and pork pairing night as part of their annual cookout, which is attended by hundreds and hundreds of people from around the country. So, yeah, to your point, the marketing that we've done and the way that we capture our reviews is critical. Number one, we've been very fortunate. A lot of our customers come in and are just blown away. They leave the reviews on their own. We haven't
Wow.
we haven't had to necessarily, what I want to use the word, secure or patronize to get the reviews.
Got
Customers
it.
just, and if you look through them, you can tell they're intimate and very heartfelt reviews. They're not your canned, oh, we came in here, this was such great. We really, I mean, it's very detailed as you read through each one of them. Now, the one thing we have done to help with our collection of reviews, all of our servers basically serve our customers. So yes, we have a bar, but we have a full menu with our wine, beers, canned cocktails, port selections. We do a 100-year port flight. People can have a 20, 30, 40-year port experience. We help them pair and pick a cigar with that. So when we do that, when they check out, on our little clipboard that has their signed merchant receipt, underneath that is a QR code on the little clipboard.
Got
So
it.
that way, when our servers go back out, thank them for being there, they hand them that piece, and they literally right there sometimes, and I've done it myself as the owner, I'll go out and say, hey, you guys were here for 3.5 hours. You spent some great time with us. We had so much fun. It would mean a lot to us if you could just leave us a quick review. And I give that to them. I let them
Nice.
scan it with their phone, and 9 times out of 10, the customer will sit there and fill out the review right in front of me. So
This is great. I
yeah,
think like this is such good, like valuable information, because I think the review situation for a lot of people and a lot of businesses, I think, is a really, really hard place. And like there are even now services and things that you can buy that can help promote reviews. I've seen this in the marketing world, but I think in this industry, like the organic feel is such a good way to go about it. So like this location seems like you guys are gonna be locked. Like you're doing very good. My question is now, like, where do you see yourself in the next maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Because you're going to continue moving through this industry. Like, you've already done so much in just like the small span of time you've had. Like, I can't imagine now what another 3 to 5 years of this looks like. Or is this where is this what you want to do and just stick to your brick and mortar location and then just do more within your vicinity?
so we've done several things. We've done some remote humidor programs. So we've worked with a couple key people around the island to place humidor for them. And now, as you know, in Florida, there's not the distribution piece of the licensing that is now not managed. So basically, I walk through our customers that have an interest, and this could be a golf course, this could be a bar, this could be whoever that we work with. But we've done some remote humidor placement. And by doing that, what that's done is that gets us even more exposure. We have a full stand-up single door humidor that's placed with LED lights. It looks very professional. And we basically say for a larger selection, come over to Ash Street Cigar Parlor, at 406 Ash Street. So that gets our name out. It's kind of a silent seller. And we've got people smoking or trying cigars in some places they might not have otherwise done it. So we work with a local business here called Golf Pub Social.
Okay.
Basically, it's an indoor simulated golf facility, and they do a great job. They've got great food, great service, great people, but they have a whole outside area that they have open for smoking. And so we provided them with the with the humidor. I did all their staff training. We gave them a printout of the cigars that they held that had wrapper, binder, filler, so they could they don't have to know everything about cigars, but they could answer the basic 101 questions of what they sold. We showed them how to light cigars, how to cut cigars. We gave them cutters, lighters, and an agreement that what they had to do on the humidification standpoint in terms of taking care of their powered humidifier.
Oh wow, yeah, I think that's really smart. So I guess I'm assuming like what you giving them, like mostly like your house line or other retail lines? Like what are you?
We give them other retail lines that we know will fit the clientele that they have. And yes,
Nice. So it's like hand selected.
it's hand selected, and we can vary that based off of what the customer tells us. If they tell us they've got a high-end customer that is a Davidoff and Padron smoker, then we would look at something like that. We've done very well putting all the brands. We could put in anything we wanted. We do things with Rocky Patel, Espinosa. We have the knuckle sandwich in a lot of our locations. Aroma de Cuba. We've got all of those different brands based on giving them a selection of some Connecticut's, some Habanos, some Maduros. So we hit all the smokers. And we do, unfortunately, I never thought I'd be that guy that was putting flavored cigars in, but there is a huge market for those. So we also
Yeah.
give them some flavored options for either, believe it or not, some of the guys smoke those, and as well as our female customers.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I think we've seen over at Farmhouse Blends. It's unbelievable, the flavored cigars. I'm telling you, there is a huge market for it. I don't personally enjoy them at all myself, but I think when you're talking about like entry level, at least from like a business owner in, like some people aren't gonna want to come in and smoke a Maduro with an Oscuro wrapper. Like that will turn someone away from cigars forever if that's their first experience. Like I think understanding where like someone is and where they're at in the process, sometimes it makes sense to give them like an infused or sweet tip cigar that's like a little bit more easy, like a cafe con leche or something like that
Exactly.
is from a marketing standpoint, it's familiar. It's not like out of the realm where it's like I don't even know what a Habano is, but a cafe con leche, that sounds like coffee. I know what that is. So it's a lot more like friendly in a sense, if that makes sense.
It does, Peter, and that's actually part of our strategy is if somebody's never had a cigar before, like I was mentioning earlier, if they went in and bought a gas station cigar, smoked it, tasted it for 3 days, had an awful experience, they will never ever come back. So we're very careful to ask, when the customer comes in, we do ask the flavored question. Were you looking for something with some flavor? Or did you just want something with some natural tobacco? And then the question usually is, oh, flavored, what kind of flavors do you have? Right? So
Yep.
then all of a sudden, then we're talking about, we have a latte, we have a Java Mint, we have, the Deadwood Estates between the Crazy Alice, the Fat Bottom Betty, all the different flavored options in different sizes. We do very well with Foundation, especially on their small axe and Django. With that Jamaican filler in there, it gives that flavor that a lot of people like. So we start them there. And then after they've had one or two of those or been back once or twice, then we'll move them into a regular, Ecuadorian or just a regular Connecticut type cigar. And we can use, again, it doesn't matter the brand, but I mean, we do very well with Espinosa Crema, and we sell a lot of that. That's probably one of our top selling cigars. We do the Johnny Tobacconaut with Room 101, and we put them in our house blend. So we give them those three options. And, when you're given three options, there's 10% of the people that are going to buy the best, most expensive. There's 47% of the people that are going to pick something in the middle. And there's that other folks that'll take kind of the bottom tier cigar. And we've got our house blend kind of priced in that middle range. So we're able to move people into that. And it also ties them to the brand, because they can't get that brand anywhere else. They can only get it from Ash Street Cigar Parlor.
Got it. Now with your site, like, are you all ever planning on doing like any kind of like online retail or anything like that? Is that something you guys are interested in exploring in the future, or are you just going to stay more like the organic route, if that makes sense, where what you're already kind of doing and just more of it?
That's $1 million question. I think as we grow, we had to get the brick and mortar and experience mapped out and done and continue to do that well, because, we want to be a destination. We don't want to just be another cigar shop. We want people to make an effort to come see us. And we've already seen that happen. We had just a couple weeks ago that they come about 2 or 3 times a year to the island. And they're like, Jeff, we literally haven't even checked into our hotel. We came right from the airport to Ash Street.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, I mean, those are the feel good moments that you're like, okay, what all the work I'm putting in is paying off. But we have to look at, there's a lot of legal implications on online retailing. I think we would have to vet that and research that deeply before we made that leap. But I never say never. I mean, we all know that a majority of business is getting done online. It just depends on what type of retail scenario we would be able to set up and function. So yeah, it's definitely part of our growth. I think, like I mentioned, our remote humidor programs are going to continue to grow and expand as we do that to get us more reach. And then, we're slowly every day seeing more and more volume, more and more new people. Even though we're a town of 13,000, there's still a lot of local people that don't know we're here, that are finding out about it. So it's shocking to me. Yeah, I had one yesterday. I walked in, they go, "I had no idea you guys were here." I'm like, "Well, where do you live?" They're like, "About 8 blocks down." I'm like, "Oh my." So,
Awesome.
I'm a big fan of kind of owning the community first and then
Yeah,
expanding, right? Because if you try to be all things to all people, I think that is where a lot of people fail. They're trying to do too much. They aren't staying in their zone and in their lane.
that's
And
fair.
that I've seen too many companies over my 34-year career that have tried to do that. And so I have that. I think the background I had in distribution, I handled both independent distribution and company-owned distribution across 16 states. So I think that experience in dealing with independent contractors and watching and coaching and helping them with their businesses allowed me to very quickly step into this space because that background was there. For the average person that's starting out and likes cigars and wants to start a business, I think the timeframes we talked about at the beginning of this were probably more real. I was able to do it quickly because I've handled all those myself personally. Just if you think about it this way, we always compare cigars to wines, right? If you're looking for a full body Maduro, that's a good cab, you know. I think the same was true for me coming from the HVAC field with, air conditioners and contractors and independent businesses to stepping into retail because those guys they didn't know it, but they were also retailers as well.
Awesome. I think this is great. I think you guys are going to continue to keep rocking in your realm. I kind of want to end it with like this, like if you're a new beginning brand, like just figured out your logo yesterday, as like now someone who's become a successful brand owner with what seems to be overnight, even though I know there are long hours and you probably have been working honestly like a dog.
Yeah.
But where do you think someone should start? Like, where is the first place to begin? How would you go about maybe figuring out your ideal customer or starting? Like, what kind of advice do you have? I mean, you at least at this point probably have much more business experience even than myself. So where would you say begin? What would you tell someone who's just starting out? Or if you started over, where would you begin?
The first thing I did, quite honestly, was I did a demographic study. So I looked at the demographics of the market. We have one other competitor, which is a great competitor. We kind of coexist perfectly because they're on the south side of our island. We're in the historic downtown. So I looked at the math, taking, a percentage of the general population that smokes cigars, broke that down, put an average spend dollar amount to it. So I kind of had my own estimation of the market was. So I had to look at that and see what piece of that I thought could be mine. And then, so that started the strategy. Then I also put together a very aggressive 3-year business plan, which
Nice.
we exceeded our business plan by probably $80,000 year one. So
Nice.
we are
Nice.
we are on track to do exactly what we set out to do. And
Awesome.
so I think having a plan would be number one. Number two, understanding your demographics, because we do very well selling the $22 to $28 cigars. You put us in the middle of Nebraska, in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to guess that we probably have to be competitive in the $8 to $12 range. Nothing against Nebraska, by the way.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think I really couldn't have said this better because like I don't, and you only started with 2 cigars yourself, right? You started with the very, very, I guess, focused business model. Like you did your market research and you went from
Yes.
there. Well, I think the biggest mistake I see from people is like, I want to start with 10 cigars. It's going to be all across the board. They don't have any idea who their customer is. They don't know where they want to sell it. And then it's like, you're already starting 6 feet underground. You're going to make this such a living nightmare because it's like, it would be like, for example, like a marketing agency trying to build a marketing agency, marketing for gas stations and marketing for tech companies and marketing for personal trainers. you can't, it's too much. You have to just really niche down and focus on one segment of the business or one segment of your area and then go from there. I think so many people shoot for the stars, and I think that's great, but it's just like so unrealistic.
And that's a great point. And I think, it's like, shooting a rifle versus shooting a shotgun, right? The shotgun approach, from my experience in business, does not work well. You've got to rifle in and target and know exactly where you're going, how you're going. So in my business plan, we had very detailed things we were going to do with merchandising, with building the brand. I think and again, I don't profess to have all the answers. All I can tell you is,
yeah, no one does. No one does. I mean, the
our,
game can be played so differently too. So it's like,
it can. So I think the branding piece, yes, it started with our logo. I did 3 focus groups on our brand to pick the logo. So, I got some good friends, I got some acquaintances, and I got some just random people to give them a selection of logos and let them pick the logo. Because there's a giant tree on Ash Street. It doesn't happen to be an ash tree, but it's a century-old tree that's been there forever, that literally the road goes around the tree on Ash Street. So that was a good tie. And then the parlor and the old school vintage, we've got the old leather chairs inside. We've got a very old school feel being in that historic building. So I think, Peter, the biggest thing though was back to the brand. Everything's branded. We have branded cigar carriers. We have branded lighters. We have branded T-shirts. Our theme on our T-shirts is "Back That Ash Up," right? So we've got that on the back of the shirts. We sell a lot of T-shirts, so people are embracing the brand. They like it, and they like the logo.
amazing. I think this is a great finish to like this is crazy. I didn't think these podcasts were gonna go like this. This is our first one. So unbelievable, man. I just want to say congrats. You guys are doing really great. Hoping to continue a relationship with you all. And if I'm ever in Amelia Island, this will be the place I will stop at. That's
Love
for
it.
sure. So
Look forward to it.
I'm going to close it. I think this was amazing. I have to head on to the next one, but thank you so much for coming on. And I think, hopefully we can do this again, maybe in person.
That would be amazing. Anytime, you got an open invitation.
Awesome, man. All righty. Well, let me just close this guy up.